I'd like to call to order the Westmont Village Board meeting of April 21st, 2022, to order at 6 o'clock p.m. and ask Clerk Simsky for a roll call, please.
Mayor Gunter?
Here.
The clerk's here. Trustee Barker?
Here.
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Trustee Guzzo?
Here.
Trustee Little?
Here.
Trustee Nero?
Here.
Trustee Simonovich is absent tonight. Attorney Zemanek?
Here.
Village Manager May?
Here.
And Assistant Village Manager Parker.
Here. Would everybody please rise and join me in a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone, to our regular board meeting. At this point, we have open forum. If this is the opportunity, if there's something that's not on the agenda, the public has a right to ask. Seeing none, I will close. I'm looking at Chief because he's the keeper of the records. I will close open forum and turn on to reports. I have a quick report. Later tonight, we're going to, in the consent agenda, approve the Lions Club backyard barbecue and spring fling. That'll be happening over Memorial Day weekend, that Friday of Memorial, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's being brought back without the pro competition. So it's a modified backyard barbecue that former trustee who he passed away was the organizer of that, Jim Addington. A week from tonight, the Community Awards dinner will be held at the Hilton. If you're attending RSVP by midnight at the Westmont Chamber. So that's, if you want to go, please contact the Chamber. And I'm going to give Trustee Simonovich's report. She's the Police Public Safety Chair, and there will be a prescription drug take-back April 30th from 10 till 2 at the police station, 500 North Cass, and at Mariano's, 150 West 63rd Street. I think there's also a drop-off at the fire station on a regular basis. Okay, while they're open. Police and fire. And then there's a paper shred event, May 14th from 9 to 1 at the police 500 North Cass Station. There's a suggested donation of $10 per box. Please note that this is just for paper shredding only. And I'll turn to Clerk Simsky.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to talk about the Memorial Day Parade and Village Office closures. So the Memorial Day Parade will be on Monday, May 30th at 10:30 a.m. in downtown Westmont on Cass from Naperville Road to Richmond. After the parade, there will be a ceremony at Veterans Memorial Park. Also, village offices will be closed on Memorial Day. Recycling and garbage will not be picked up on Monday, May 30th, which will delay pickups by 1 day for the entire week. So remember that, and you have to put garbage out.
Thank you. Trustee Johanna Guzzo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few things this evening. Our next Fire Public Safety Committee meeting will be June 2nd here, 4:30 at Village Hall. Everyone is invited to attend. And the Citizens Fire Academy update. Classes have been going very well, and there has been a lot of positive feedback from the participants on social media. The graduation ceremony will be held on May 3rd, and I want to give a big thank you to the fire department for putting on a fantastic class. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Brady.
The planning and zoning meeting will be May 11th at 7 p.m. They have one tentative schedule at this meeting. Review a proposed restaurant with drive-through facilities at 80 West 63rd Street. This property is one of two vacant sites at the Market Center. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll turn over here to Trustee Nero.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple quick items. Our next Public Works Committee meeting is June 16th, 4:30, right here at Village Hall. And coming up next, we have a big Public Works open house. So if you weren't at the one last year, please try to put it on your calendar for this year. It's going to be May 21st, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., located at the new Public Works Building, 155 East Burlington. Lots of action, facility tours, forestry demonstration, identifying tree species contest, fire hydrant demos, a bee observation station, touch a truck display, hands-on crafts for children, raffles, games, prizes. It happens to be National Public Works Weeks as well, so I know Mike and the team are gonna do a real good job. It was an awesome party and an awesome open house last year. I'm sure it'll be the same, if not better, this year. So please make it if you can, and that's all I have, sir.
Thank you. Trustee Little.
Thank you, Mayor. The next Administration Finance Committee meeting will be held May 19th at 4:30, right here in Village Hall. Water and garbage rates, as of May 1st, 2022, water rates will remain the same as last year. Garbage rates, yard waste, and garbage stickers have gone up in price. Please see the village website for specific information. For community events, the Race to the Flag 5K run will be again on Sunday before Memorial Day. It will be starting, I don't have a time, it'll be at High Warner Park, and you can check it out and sign up for the race at racetotheflag.org. Make sure you do that because, Mayor, are you going to be doing flapjacks that day?
Well, I think due to COVID, we're not going to have
Okay.
we'll have healthy stuff like bananas and oranges and stuff. Not sausage and pancakes, so.
Sorry, we're going to miss that one. Summer events, to let everyone know, cruise nights will begin June the 2nd. They'll run through September 1st, every Thursday night from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Cass Avenue. And the Taste of Westmont will be the weekend after the 4th of July, which is July 7th through the 10th. Details can be found at Westmont Special Events website, which is westmontevents.com. And if you'll go there and sign up to be a volunteer, I will greet you and thank you for your service, because I'm going to be there the whole weekend. Also, the 3rd annual Westmont Senior Spring Fling. At this time, I'd like to bring up to the podium Mary Ann Ferguson to talk a little bit about this 3rd annual event, and tell us a little bit about yourself, Mary Ann.
Put this here, so Larry said, I think we're good. So I'm Mary Ferguson. I'm with the Birches Assisted Living in Clarendon Hills, but I am part of the Chamber's Senior Resource Group. So we've been working together for several years now. I think I joined the group in 2018. And our goal really is to provide resources and education to the seniors and the residents here in Westmont. But on May 6th, we're having our spring fling at the community center. And so State Representative Diane Mazzocchi, the Village of Westmont, and the Senior Resource Group are sponsoring that. We'll have educational programs. We're talking about help in your home, home safety, Parkinson's, diabetes education, and dementia, as well as the Illinois Secretary of State Mobile Driver Services will be there. So if somebody needs a state ID, that would be great. Community resources, a senior art display, and refreshments. We'll have about 20 exhibitors. And these are local businesses that are part of the chamber that really their goal is to provide services and education to seniors and those living in Westmont and the surrounding areas. We'll have about 20 of those, including the police department, fire department, library, as well as the park district. So I would love for all of you to come out, kind of see what we've been doing. I think it's always great when residents see local celebrities. I think it's important for them to know that you guys are supporting the stuff that is happening in the chamber and the community at large as well. So do you have any questions for me about this particular event or the Senior Resource Group?
No, but I want to thank you for making us also assisting and making us the first community in DuPage County dementia.
Yes, dementia friendly. I'm usually here for that, so it's a little change for me. But yes, dementia friendly. Actually, just a quick update on that. There's now 23 communities in Illinois that are dementia friendly. And so we're continuing to push that, and the library continues to do educational programs. So maybe I can come back another time and give you guys an update on that. But thank you so much for having me here tonight. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you. And Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
And I'll we'll end it with trustee Barker.
Thank you, Mayor. The EIC meeting, next meeting is May 2nd at 5:30 in Village Hall. They had a pretty good start to the spring, summer season here. We had a Westmont special recycling event, was a huge success and collected TVs, bulbs, textiles, cardboard, computers, and more. They had over 250 cars that came through the event and collected 14,296 pounds of electronics, over 2,000 pounds of textiles, 1,220 pounds of books. And I wanted to thank the Public Works, the AIC volunteers, the EMA volunteers, and our collection vendor, eWorks, for coordinating, hosting, and completing this successful event. And with that kind of success, you know, we've proven that there's a need in the area, so I think EIC is gonna ask to, you know, try to do this event again because people are taking advantage of it. And that makes it so much more convenient than taking it to other locations. Richmond Gardens is, you know, looking for a ribbon cutting, but with the help of Mr. McIntyre over there, they coordinated a stakeholders tour with our forester, John Yater, and folks from various organizations of that property. They had the Clarendon Hills Public Works there, the library, the Park District, area schools, and they toured Richmond Gardens, and it was learning for them so they can build programming to utilize that site. So a very, very needed, and there'll be more to come on Richmond Gardens, and we'll start to see people using that now this coming year. River Sweep and Storm Drain Stenciling are two community events sponsored by the EIC. We're looking for volunteers. The River Sweep is May 21st, and Storm Drain Stenciling is June 4th. They can sign up, anybody that wants to volunteer for that can sign up through the village website and get additional information there. Tree seedling giveaway is April 29th from 1 to 5 at the Westmont Library for those people that have ordered seedlings. And then finally, on Monday evening, we had a Westmont First meeting, and the conversation, you know, based on our assignment to look into a community-wide mural program. We had a very good meeting. There was some excellent information brought to the group of various other communities that have been successful in this endeavor, and we hope to bring more of that forward, possibly at the next admin finance meeting or wherever it's appropriate. Looking at budgeting protocols and guidelines. So that was a good meeting, more to come. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Moving on, does any trustee see an item they want to remove from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'd ask Manager May to please read the consent agenda.
Thank you. Consent agenda begins with Village Board minutes. Board to consider approving the minutes of the Village Board meeting held April 7, 2022. Next is Finance Ordinance number 25 in the aggregate amount of $1,850,832.71. There is one purchase order, West Suburban Municipal Conference, $36,806. This is the consort. This represents our spring Parkway tree planting. Purchase order together with the Finance Ordinance number 25 is $1,887,638.91. Next, we have community events, 3 of them. Westmont Spring Fling, Red, White, and Barbecue. Board to consider an ordinance approving the following requests for the Westmont Spring Fling, Red, White, and Barbecue Festival hosted by the Westmont Lions Foundation from May 27th through May 29th, 2022. First, a community events permit. Next, liquor license fee waiver, amusement fee waiver, live amplified sound permit, and tent permit fee waiver. Next event is the 2022 Westmont Cruisin' Nights and Street Fair. Board to consider an ordinance approving the following requests from the Westmont Special Events Corporation for their 2022 Cruisin' Nights and Street Fair events. Tent permit fee waiver, live amplified sound permit for the event hours, and street and public right-of-way closures. Next is Taste of Westmont. Board to consider an ordinance approving the following requests from the Westmont Special Events Corporation for the 2022 Taste of Westmont event. Special event liquor license fee waiver, amusement license fee waiver, tent permit fee waiver, food truck fee waiver, live amplified sound permits for the event hours, and street and public right-of-way closures. Before I go on, I just want to mention that when these special events are on the consent agenda, all of these waivers are consistent with, as they were presented in prior years before now. But there's more. There's 3 proclamations. First one is Arbor Day. Board to consider a proclamation to declare April 29, 2022 as Arbor Day in the Village of Westmont. Board to consider a proclamation to declare May 1st through 7th, 2022 as Municipal Clerks Week. And board to consider a proclamation to declare May 1st through 7th, 2022 as Public Service Week, Recognition Week in the Village of Westmont. And that concludes the consent agenda, Mayor.
Do I have a motion to approve as read?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Nero.
Motion made second. I understand the attorney has a comment.
Yeah, just, although it's not listed on the Lions Club request, they've submitted for a sign permit for 4 temporary signs in public right-of-ways to promote this event, and village ordinances allow the village board to approve those signs and to waive fees. And so I emailed that sign package to you. It's part of the event overall, and it's included in the ordinance. And likewise with the 2 WSEC requests, the ordinance includes approval of a community events permit, although it's not specifically listed on the agenda. I just wanted to point that out.
Good. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Little,
Yes.
trustee Brady,
Yes.
trustee Guzzo,
Yes.
trustee Nero,
Yes.
trustee Barker.
Yes.
Motion passes. And Dan, I think tomorrow morning they'll have the license for you to pick up signature from the Lions Club. I saw him in the audience. Moving on to new business, Planning and Zoning Commission appointment. Board to consider a motion approving my appointment of 2 new Planning and Zoning Commissioners. Before we swear them in, I do have to say I had the opportunity to thank the 2 Planning and Zoning Commissioners who were leaving, one going out of town, the other one for family reasons. And we were fortunate to interview and have 2 strong candidates to serve in that position. I do have to say, I've said it at that point too, planning and zoning does all the work for most of the work for the village board. They do the hearing to go over all the requests for development, any zoning variations, any changes. They're the group that does their homework, and then when it gets to us, there's minor things for us to look at and question. So this is a very important commission. And at this point, I'd like to ask our chair, Doug Carmichael, and our 2, each commission will be appointed to a 5-year term. We got Harold Berry and Joe Peterson. Would you please come up and join us to swear? I'll have Mr. Carmichael swear you in.
Hey, Mayor,
Yes.
there needs to be a vote on the
Oh, I
confirmation, and then
forgot. Before
you
we
can
swear
swear.
you in, I thought they would just let me do that. I know Harold was blinking. I'd have a motion to approve my appointments.
Motion to approve, Nero.
Thanks.
Second Guzzo.
Any comments?
Just a quick comment, Mayor. I'm a little uneasy on Mr. Berry. I don't know about doing them both together, you know? I'm just saying, it might have been better to do them separate, but that's all right. I want him to sweat it out a little bit.
We should maybe question him a little bit.
Yeah.
I tried to sneak it in without a vote, so I get rid of it. But do have to say that we've, on the question is that we've got 2 very knowledgeable commission members who have been involved in parts of this village for a long time. So I think we've selected 2 good, strong candidates. So roll call.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Motion passes. Now please join me in front.
That was a close one.
Yeah, you guys are on that side.
There you go.
Okay, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Harold Berry,
Joe Peterson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the laws of DuPage County,
the laws of DuPage County,
the Westmont Village Code of Ordinances,
the Westmont Village Code of Ordinances,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will
faithfully discharge
the duties for the office of Commissioner on the Board of Planning and Zoning.
for the duties of the Office of Commissioner on Planning and Zoning,
To the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
All right. Congratulations. Get ready to do some hard work.
And again, I think you heard me say it is a 5-year appointment. So again, welcome.
Sentence.
Sentence, not a sentence. But it is, there is a lot of hard work that they do, and thank you, Chairman Carmichael, for attending tonight and swearing him in. New business B, a B1 permit Beauty and the Baker at 34 North Cass. Board to consider an ordinance approving a B1 development permit for Beauty and the Baker to operate a bakery at 34 North Cass Avenue. Director Sylvester.
Mr. Mayor and trustees, we have two individuals here who are interested in opening up a business in our downtown. It's a bakery, and they have a brief slide presentation that they'd like to share with you. You guys want to come on up? The name of the business is Beauty and the Baker. And you're going to use down here.
They got more than a slide presentation.
You're finally catching up. Hello, good evening. My name is Marco. I'm one of the owners of Beauty and the Baker.
And my name is Michaela. I am the other owner of Beauty and the Baker.
And of course, you all have the question, who is the beauty and who is the baker? Our go-to answer is, it depends on the day.
Do you want the samples now?
No. Just leave it in my office. We'll get it later.
We are looking to not only be the tenants, but the also owners of that facility right there on 34. We have been a bakery for the last 5 years. We bought it from the previous owners. We've been running as just a duo. Currently, we are outgrowing our facility. We're hoping to expand. And because of that, a lot of my family resides in Westmont. This place came upon us. It was perfect.
Pure luck.
Pure luck, perfect. It was only on the market for 13 days. We're very excited that we were able to find it and get something signed. But a little bit of what we wanted to show, if you want to talk a little bit about.
Okay. So we do a bunch of different things. So we make like daily staple pastries, we do custom cakes, we do wedding cakes. We currently are partnered with the Montebello Estates located in Lamont, and they're projected 75 weddings this year, on top of the weddings that we already currently have. We offer coffees, teas. We're looking to add breads and bagels and stuff like that. So just like your traditional pastry or bakery plus more.
Some of the things that we mainly focus on top of the storefront is, of course, weddings. Michaela is very, very good at what she does. Here are some of the things that we've done in the past year. But besides weddings, the other things we focus on, of course, is birthday celebrations, some of the other highlights that we've done in the past.
So a little bit for everybody, not just weddings, birthdays, all that, anniversaries.
My family, of course, I know that we have a lot of bakers in our family. We have a lot of salespeople in our family, and of course, a lot of hard workers in my family. Together, me and Michaela have been training them throughout the years, just for the transition to come up soon.
To have a full-fledged staff this time.
So that we can finally catch up on sleep. But
Maybe.
These are some of the ideas that we also had. Just there's a lot of work to be done in that facility. Currently,
it's a blank canvas.
It is a blank canvas. Currently, we know that we have to worry about, since it's a blank canvas, we can basically start from the ground up. Just for references, some of the ideas we picked out, it's things that we do like, don't like, just an idea of what the storefront may look in the future. And then this is the actual floor plan that we had in mind.
Rough idea.
Rough idea. The one thing that we came across is the basement. I know on the next slide, we have the potential of having office and storage, as well as cooler and freezing down there. That might not be a possibility. So we had in mind, for, as an example, one of the Wendy's on Ogden, their freezing and cooling is in the outside, and they are just have as an adjacent building. That's something we had in mind with the back alleyway that we had with space. Just need to be cleaned up, re-cemented. It'd be perfect for that in aspect. That way we have the necessary space instead of fighting for the space like we currently do, for refrigeration, storage, dry ingredients, and all that. And then the outside signage, we did talk to Joe about it, briefly about the rules and stuff, just an idea of what we'd have. This isn't exact, because I know he mentioned some things about letters being separate and other sorts, but we did touch base with them, and this is just for somewhat of a reference. That's it.
Well done. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Nero.
Second, Little?
Motion made and second. Comment? I know that- Where was Lindstrom on the other side?
They were gonna be a couple doors down from where you were, and that was a bakery that we had in town forever. I'm born and raised here, so to have another bakery downtown is gonna be awesome, so welcome.
Yep.
Thank you.
First, I've seen samples for the mayor, too. I mean,
That's for everybody.
That's
Remember,
what a
I don't
deal.
vote. But can't be bribed. Trustee Barker.
Yeah, can you tell us, what time in the morning does a baker start baking for the day?
It varies from days. Sometimes our mornings start early as midnight. Some days we're there the day before and just work through the morning. On holidays, for instance, we'll be there between, we'll run.
We don't go home.
Yeah, we don't go home.
Well, I just want to say that bakery is my specialty, the eating side of it. And thank you for doing that, because the world is a better place because of it.
Thank you.
Any comments from,
What will your hours be?
Right now, tentatively, we're considering it. We're considering something early, as in 4 a.m. It might change anywhere between 4 to 6 as a starting, and then maybe as late as 6 p.m. where it's
Hopefully having a full staff will
Help.
let us have a very large range of hours.
and I would say, let's do a roll call first.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes?
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Motion passes. Welcome. My last comment would be that, and you may already aware, the month from now starts our Thursday night cruising nights. And it's very popular, even though you may not be open, you might want to market it, and Trustee Little would be the person to contact as far as letting people know that you're going to be opening soon. It's a great way to publicize. We have 1,000 people, usually 200-300 cars that are on that street on Thursday nights. So, well, welcome.
Thank you.
You can
Thank you.
leave that with Larry Forsberg in the back, the food, so thank you. Appreciate it. I can trust him. Thank you.
He's the mayor's taster.
Very nice.
Thank you.
I'm excited.
Moving on, new business, 1 North Cass, final plat for the residents at Cass Avenue Station. Board to consider ordinance approving a final plat of subdivision from Westmont Apartments LLC for 1 North Cass mixed-use redevelopment project. And I'm going to turn to Director Sylvester with the Attorney Zemanek.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As a quick refresher, it was about a year ago that you approved several entitlements, zoning approvals for a very exciting redevelopment project in our downtown at 1 North Cass. And just to refresh everyone's memory, what was reviewed and approved at that point in time were zoning approvals for some variances that were needed, for a site and landscape plan for the proposed mixed-use building with ground floor commercial, some structured parking, and then multiple floors of residential above that. So very similar to 1 West Quincy, except across the tracks and on the east side of Cass. Also at that time, you approved some development agreements that specified some village obligations to help the developer and some developer obligations in terms of timing and purchasing of properties, et cetera. And then lastly, what you approved at that time was a preliminary plat. And I'll just take a moment to refresh everyone's memory on what a plat is. A plat is what delineates private property. It creates lot lines, it creates easements, it delineates where public rights-of-way are and alleys, et cetera. Because that property that will be redeveloped includes some changes to existing alleys, an actual realignment to a public street, all of that needed to be addressed through a document called a Plat. And the preliminary document was approved a year ago, and that approval required or set a one-year timeline for all of the details to be hammered down and nailed in place so that a final plat could be created, and that had to be brought to you within a year for your review and approval. And that's the item that's in front of you tonight. The developer has proceeded with all of the work, nailing down the details for where the public street will be, where the alleys will be, what will become private property, where multiple lots will be consolidated into a single lot, where easements will go, et cetera. Those are all the details that are encompassed in the plat. And it's ready for your review, and it's ready for your vote, and if you approve it, then the next steps in the development process can continue. Those next steps are outlined in the development agreement, again, that you also approved about a year ago when you were approving all of these zoning entitlements. I'm not going to get into the details of the development agreement that lays out what all of those steps are, although if you do have questions, feel free to ask. I'll probably defer them to Attorney Zemanek if you have questions about that development agreement.
Do you have anything to add?
I won't get into the entire timeline of all this next steps, but I think the important one is that we're supposed to close on the sale of the properties, the developers' purchase of the properties, as well as the other properties owned by third parties within 60 days from today's date. That's also the trigger for the developer to pay for the vacated right-of-way that was approved last year. And then once he closes on the purchase of the properties and also provides proof that the developer has construction financing for the entirety of this project, then we can start recording documents and he can move towards permits.
Do they come to another meeting, or that's just dealt through staff?
The closing is taken care of, obviously, without coming to another meeting, and yeah, there's no requirement to come back to the village board for anything unless there's a change in plans.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Barker.
Second, Nero.
Motion been made and seconded to approve. I know we have representatives here. You would like to say anything? You can come out, you gotta come up to the microphone.
I'll give your name.
Name and, yeah.
Good evening, Dorothy Middlestat with Westmont Apartments. We're here to ask for the final plat approval for the residents at Cass Avenue. The plat has been submitted and reviewed by the village staff, and it is our understanding that it's in its final executable form. So we are respectfully requesting final plat approval. Thank you.
Any questions, comments from anybody? No? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Barker. Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
All right, motion passes, so we'll look forward to the next step. Thank you. New business D, increase in the number of available Class 3 liquor license. Board to consider ordinance increasing the number of available Class 3 liquor license by 1 for Quincy Enterprises, which is Tapatio Mexican Restaurant at 11 West Quincy Street. Deputy Liquor Commissioner Mulholland.
Good evening, Mayor. Quincy Enterprises doing business as Tapatio Mexican Restaurant has applied for a Class 3 liquor license. A background review of owner Christina Garcia revealed she is eligible to receive the Class 3 liquor license. Tapatio Mexican Restaurant provides sit-down and carry-out Mexican-style food and drink. Christina is looking forward to having a business in Westmont at this location, and they hope to open in May of 2022. I know they were here last board meeting for a zoning issue. I thought they were coming back and indicated they would, but they aren't here, so something must have come up. But they are very excited to getting this license. It will be a Mexican restaurant. You have a written review that I provided for the board. They plan on having carry-out and sit-down opportunities as well. Christina, this will be her first restaurant operation, her first restaurant that she's owned. She has restaurant experience in the liquor sales in the past. Her fiance, Leopoldo, or Leo, owns an electric company, has been doing the build-out for both that and the business next door, so they're trying to work. They originally had hoped to open by Cinco de Mayo, but that does not seem to be feasible, so they're hoping to be open sometime in May. Again, two very, very nice people, and they are eligible, she's eligible to receive the license.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Little.
Second, Euro.
Motion made in second. Any comments? Questions? None? Again, this is like our third new business on Quincy.
And I put in a review, and I know I was working with Larry Forsberg, they are interested, there's an open space to the west, not to the east towards the apartments, but to the west. They are looking to, maybe even before they open, looking to expand into that area already. Not yet, that'll come back in front of you again with the thing for the liquor license, but they're very excited and hopefully looking to expand as well already.
I'd ask for a roll call, please.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving on, new business E, increase in available tobacco license. Board to consider an ordinance increasing the number of available tobacco license by one for Print, Smoke, and Convenient Incorporated at 6006 South Cass Avenue. Deputy Liquor Commissioner and Tobacco Commissioner Mullard.
I'll put my other hat on. But I will say, it's very nice to have a bakery coming back to town. With Trustee Guzzo, I remember the days. Board is asked to consider an ordinance increasing number of available tobacco licenses by one for Prince Smoke and Convenient at 6006 South Cass Avenue. Prince Smoke and Convenient at 6006 South Cass Avenue applied for a tobacco license. They will sell packaged good, snacks, etc., but no prepared food items. They also sell tobacco and vape products. A background review revealed that the owner is eligible to receive this license. The agreed-upon overall square footage shall be restricted to 60% available for food items, 30% for tobacco items, and 10% for vape products. This agreed-upon restriction will be addressed in an addendum to the tobacco license when it is issued. I have with me here tonight Mr. Malvi and Vinny, his friend, to help him maybe translate if necessary. The issue came to be is that when they applied, when Mr. Malvi applied for the tobacco license, he did not indicate there was vape. And when vape came into the picture, then working with community development, issues came up that if he's going to be a convenience store, and according to community development rules is that they can't, their gross sales or sales cannot be more than 50% of tobacco or vape. So if they sell, more food than they do tobacco and vape, they're fine, but once they start selling more tobacco or vape versus food, that's when they're in trouble. They no longer are considered a convenience store, they're considered a smoke or a vape store, and then thus they would have to go through a bunch of zoning issues, and/or I think would actually be denied based on their current configuration. So I'm speaking with Mr. Malvi and working out with our village attorney and community development. We are going to restrict two things, and the mayor, you have a copy of an addendum, which Mr. Malvi has already signed, and the mayor has signed as well too. And it's two things. Their overall space for the display of food or food products, including Cokes and drinks and stuff like that, it cannot be less than 60%. So 60% of their store, not bathrooms, not storage rooms, basements, or anything like that, of the area that's available for customers has to be for food sales only. And then 30% can be for tobacco sales, and only 10% can be for vape sales. To address the community development component of this, you'll see in the restriction is that they cannot sell more. They have to sell more food than they do anything else. So basically, if their sales go more than 51% more for tobacco or vape, then they are no longer a convenience store and are subject to action by the village that way. So both of those in the agreement. The agreement will be attached to the license to make sure that it's addressed. I know, John, did I cover it or anything? Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So with that, I'll introduce Mr. Malvi. Just so everyone knows, the convenience store, the store will be in the little strip mall at 60th and Cass, where there's a laundromat where the old Spree Mart used to be. They're going to be about in the middle of that stretch of strip mall in there, and that's what they'll be operating out of. And Mr. Malvi has been a Westmont resident for some time, so he's used to work at Spree Mart that was there, but is also a Westmont resident, which is a plus. So with that, Mr. Mulvey, if you have anything you want to say, or you don't have to?
Well, do I have a motion to,
Motion approve.
second?
Second?
We have a motion made to approve. Any additional comments? Trustee Barker.
2 questions. The percentages here, are those the same for all these type shops, the convenience stores, the 60, 30, 10?
No, this is specific to this business only because of the main reason when they mentioned vape and smoke, that's when I was talking to Community Development, they mentioned their requirements.
Yeah.
So in speaking with Mr. Mulvey and making sure that, you know, it's covered, we put that, we require that. But no, that is not with any other tobacco license specific.
And I would say this, that since the village board required a special use permit for tobacco and vape shops in the B2 district, we've not had a convenience store request come in with a tobacco license. So this is the first time you've considered a tobacco license for a convenience store since that went into place, and thus the imposition of this regulation. But the intention would be to apply that regulation for any other future convenience store that came in.
Yeah. And then you check this? This is your responsibility to make sure that it's balanced?
No.
Who
I skated on that. I've already talked with Director Sylvester and Jason Vitale of the Code Enforcement Division. Before they can get a business license, they have to meet all the business inspections. So a code enforcement officer has to go there and do a building inspection. I've coordinated with Jason that the code enforcement officer will measure this when they go and do their inspections before they get their business license.
So, but my concern is like, so we have restaurants that get, video gaming, and then the video gaming turns into a higher percentage.
Correct.
And we have a way to monitor the food sales. Do we have a way to monitor the grocery sales? Because if they set it up today like this, and then a year from now it changes over to, we're selling more tobacco, and all of a sudden now tobacco's getting a bigger percentage and food isn't selling. See these stores come and go quite often, unfortunately, but.
One second. He needs to sign this one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mayor already has.
Yeah, I got this one here. Sorry, pardon me. Take this one. Okay. That was why we did the percentage and versus the food sales, and speaking with Spencer and even with code enforcement, that to get the exact percentages, they are not subject to the places for eatings tax, because there's no Spencer from this, but they are not subject to that. So where we could not use that to measure a stick like we do.
Code's gonna check.
So code's gonna go, yeah, but to go down and check that's why we wanted to go the percentages versus not only the sales, because we know the percentages, the space, we know it's a fixed thing, we know we can measure that. The sales and stuff like that, we don't have a measuring stick right now. If they were subject to the places for eatings tax, yes, we would, but they are not, so we don't.
Well, that's it, and if Jim was sitting over here still, he would go, yeah, we want a convenience store, but we don't want a vape shop.
Right.
So I'll say it for him, why people buy that stuff, that's their
When
prerogative.
we had this
but
discussion, my envisions of him sitting there came to my head on this as well,
A
so.
successful convenience store would be great.
And that's why with Mr. Marvel, we've talked and expressed with him, I've expressed the vape, the vape issue. And that's when he told me that vape will be a small portion of his business, not the majority. Not like you see in other places through town. He's assured us it's a small thing, and that's why he's agreed. He was the one that came up with these percentages.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing no roll call, please.
Trustee Brady,
Yes.
trustee Little,
Yes.
trustee Barker,
Yes.
trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, everybody, have a good night.
Congratulations.
Ginny, I'm sorry, Clerk Chimsky, I do need a copy of that tomorrow or whenever.
Okay.
So.
I'll see you tomorrow
That's the only
morning.
one I have.
Okay.
With the mayor's spelled, name spelled.
Grease. Thank you. New business F, agreement with Metro Paramedic Services Incorporated. Board to consider ordinance approving a public-private partnership agreement for EMS firefighting staffing with Metro Paramedic Services Incorporated. Chief Riley.
Thank you, Mayor. The existing contract with Metro Paramedic Services that we currently have in place today expires at the end of April 30th, 2022. This new staffing agreement is a 5-year term through April 30th of 2027. The fees are set for year 1, and the fees shall be negotiated for years 2 through 5 and shall not exceed a 5% increase or decrease in any given year. Either party may terminate the agreement without cause upon 90 days' notice or may terminate in the event of breach.
Do I motion to approve?
Motion to approve Guzzo.
Second, Nero.
Motion made, second. Comments? Chief, you're
Very happy with Metro Paramedic Services. Obviously, the last 2 years has been a struggle for everybody across this country. We are fully staffed now on the contract, so we're very happy with the service that they are providing to our community. And our ambulances have been very busy this last week, very busy.
Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Motion passes. And a related item, new business G, ambulance fees. Board to consider ordinance approving amendments to Chapter 42, Article 5, Section 42-215 of the Westmont Code of Ordinances regarding ambulance fees. Chief Riley.
As you may recall, at the public safety meeting, this is for the ground emergency medical transporter, better known as GEMT. So this ordinance establishes ambulance fees for residents and non-residents based on previous year's annual reports submitted to the Illinois Department of Health Care and Family Services and or Medicaid or Medicare, which reflects the actual cost of the service. Fees will automatically be adjusted annually based on the annual report without further board action. This method is based on an approved 2020 IGA with the Illinois Department of Health Care and Family Services and will implement the terms of the IGA. Again, this is always based on the needs every year. This could continue on for years, or they could actually turn around next year or a couple of years and say no more money for Medicaid or Medicare. So rather than continuing to bring this back for the board to raise it a couple $100, I'm asking you to just let the numbers be held by the Illinois Department of Health Care.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve Guzzo.
Second, Little.
Motion made in second. Comments? Again, we talked about this in committee. It's,
Right, we talked about this at last public safety on the direction of the board.
yeah. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Motion passes. New business H, firearms text amendments. Board to consider ordinance approving zoning ordinance text amendments to define and provide zoning regulations and prohibitions for firearm sales in various zoning districts. And you're up there, Director Sylvester.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Trustees, the item before you is a proposed text amendment to create new and better rules for the regulation of the sale of firearms in the village. We became aware recently that there are people in the community who get federal permits, and I don't know all the details, but it allows them to sell firearms from their homes. And so we reviewed our zoning rules and our home occupation rules and realized that we needed to tighten them up a little bit. And so that led to some work with the village attorney and planning staff and community development department to create the proposal that's in front of you tonight. If you're looking online or if you have a printout of the packet, if you want to follow along on the top of page 3, there's basically a summary of what is being recommended. This did go through Planning and Zoning Commission, and we did hold a public hearing, and PZC did recommend approval. But in a nutshell, what are we and what did the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend? First of all, to come up with a clear definition of what firearms are and what constitutes firearm sales. So that's one of the things that is being recommended. Secondly, classifying firearm sales accessory as something that would be a permitted use in the C1 zoning district, which is mostly around 63rd and Cass, and in the B2 zoning district, which is around town, but a lot of Ogden and elsewhere. But it would be accessory only if it's part of a larger retail business. So for example, a Dick's Sporting Goods. If it meets a minimum square footage and it's like Dick's is probably the best example, or a Cabela's, the sale of firearms would be an allowed accessory use in that type of a large business in those two zoning districts. The third recommendation is to create a definition for firearm sales as a principal use, so this would be like just a straight-up gun store, and say that that type of a business would only be allowed as a special use, and it would only be allowed in the M district, and then furthermore, it would only be allowed on properties that meet certain spacing distances, so that a business, like a gun sales business, would need to be so far from residential property, so far from school property, and a certain distance from park district property. And it would require a special use permit, so it would be reviewed by the Planning and Zoning Commission, the public would be notified, and it would come through you for a final approval. And then the fourth and final recommendation that's included in this text amendment is to clarify that the sale of firearms would not be allowed as a home occupation, as is currently allowed sort of through a loophole with our current rules. Just a final note on that. Anyone who has previously established gun sales from their home would be allowed to continue that use. It's called legal nonconforming. They would maintain the right to continue to do that because they started before these rules are adopted. But going forward, no new person would be allowed to sell guns from their home per the rules that we're recommending.
I would just add that this started off looking just at the home occupation prohibition on gun sales, and then we kind of realized the zoning ordinance doesn't otherwise address gun sales. It is a legal use in the state of Illinois, whether you are in favor of that or opposed to it, and with any lawful use, it's best if your zoning ordinance allows for that in some zoning district, and if you need restrictions, et cetera, you can build that into the use tables, which this attempts to do. The alternative, if we were to be silent on it, it doesn't mean that they're prohibited. It means that anyone can come in who wants to open a gun store and assert that it should be allowed either as a permitted use in the B2 because it's a retail store and other retail stores are allowed, or they can ask for a text amendment, and you'd have to either approve or deny that. So decided it's best to proactively legislate on that issue before someone brings it to us and potentially forces the village's hand.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve Barker.
Second, Nero.
Motion made second. Any additional comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Motion passes. New business I, repeal of Chapter 22, Section 22-2, Firearms Sale. Board to consider ordinance repealing Chapter 22, Section 22-2 of the Westmont Code of Ordinances regarding the prohibition on the sale of concealed firearms.
I'll do that.
Attorney Zemanek.
Yeah, this is an ordinance that dates back to 1972 when the Code of Ordinances was first adopted. So it's an antiquated ordinance. It's never been enforced. I checked with the police chief who confirmed they don't enforce it, and it is likely unconstitutionally vague as written and probably unenforceable. So it's best to get that off the books. And as we were looking at the gun sale regulations, it seemed logical to take care of that now as well.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve Barker.
Second, Nero.
Motion made to approve. Any additional comments? Chief's got a thumbs up, so roll call, please.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Motion passes. New business J, fiscal year 2022-23 budget. Board to consider resolution adopting the fiscal year 2022-23 budget. Assistant Village Manager Parker.
So as the board's very well aware, we had a very detailed discussion about the budget last week. Anybody who's interested in learning a lot of the details about the budget should go take a look at that meeting, because we went into it in a lot of detail. The budget that we have before you for approval this evening is consistent with that, with one exception. We had a request from a trustee to increase the amount budgeted for the Pasquinelli Lights projects, just to make sure we had enough to cover all the things we were hoping to do with that. So we've added an extra $500,000 into the budget for that. If that full amount is not needed, obviously we wouldn't be spending it. So with that amendment, the grand totals we're looking for are total sources in the amount of $70,766,840, and total uses in the amount of $93,770,085.
Do I have a motion to?
Got a question.
Yes.
I did not attend the meeting, but I did attend on Zoom, and I did, at the suggestion of the village manager, I did see the full recording, and I did call Mr. Spencer on different questions I had, so I feel very comfortable in, answering the questions on the budget.
Good.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Nero.
Motion's been made and seconded again on the question. Assistant Village Manager Parker, that's available online if they wanted to view the whole budget workshop for detail. So, any other comments, questions? If not, roll call, please.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Motion passes. Any miscellaneous items? Yes, Trustee Barker.
So, tomorrow starts International Dark Skies Week. It runs from April 22nd to the 30th. I forgot to mention that earlier. And I did want to say that this year we have 2 Boy Scouts in the community that are working on projects, and they're involved with the EIC, but one is for recycling right and getting the right things in recycling containers, and another young man that had contacted us, and I'm going to have an interview with him, but he wants to know what the village is doing about climate change. So thank goodness for the EIC that we have answers for those folks. But, and then I do want to thank the board for the support of the environmental things on behalf of the EIC and the village. So,
You're doing, the EIC's doing a lot of work, and we're gonna be looking at our garbage pickup in the next year to look at for RFP to go back out a year from now. And I would imagine those are Eagle Scout projects, right?
yes.
Our community has many Eagle Scouts through the years, so that's good.
To get them to work on the scavenger.
Yeah. If nothing else, I do have to ask for a quick executive session for the purchase of property for the use of the village. Do I have a motion to adjourn the executive session?
Motion to adjourn executive session, Nero.
Second, Little?
Motion made to adjourn executive session. Roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to adjourn the executive session, and then when we come back, there will not be any further business, and then I will adjourn that meeting. So again, thank you. We're gonna take a executive session break. Thank you.